All right, we're live. Going to connect Facebook real quick. Hang tight, y'all. Broncos-Chargers, second quarter, still going. 3rd and 10. We'll see. I think we're good enough. Welcome in, everybody. It is the halftime stream of the MHH podcast. We told you that we're reinstituting this, getting it rolling. I'm Chad Jensen, my pard here. You know him, you love him, my fellow football priest, Zack Kelberman. Zach, it was looking pretty grim up until that last possession for the Broncos offense, dude. Here on second and 20, Hampton just got ran out of bounds for a couple yard gain. But what's been some of your thoughts through the first half?
Well, up until that Cortland Sutton bomb touchdown, Chad, I was thinking this is a very poorly coached, poorly executed team in terms of how the players are running the play, at least on offense. They look dead in the water. Bo Nix looked like he's regressing in his second season based on this one game. But again, now I'm reacting to after that touchdown, and it could have shifted the whole momentum of the game. That's why we do these halftime reactions. But I was not pleased at all with what I saw in the first half, Chad, coming off a brutal week 2 loss.
And on 3rd and 15, they just did a little running back draw. There goes the clock. So officially at the half, Broncos trail the Chargers 10-7. William jumping in, a great member and superstar with a super chat. Thank you, brother.
William.
Saying that last TD got me off the ledge for now. O-line is god-awful so far. Can't run, can't pass with zero blocking. Let's get the heads out. Guys, this has been so bad, Zach, the run blocking. The Denver Broncos have currently Bo Nix is their leading rusher, 2 carries, 12 yards. RJ Harvey, 1 carry, 4 yards. Get this, J.K. Dobbins, 4 carries, minus 4 yards. So that gives you a grand total of 12 rush yards in the first half.
It just shows you when you can't run the ball. If you're the Broncos, they can't do anything. They're totally off their script right now. They have no identity, Chad. And I'll say something. I've been a big, as you have, a Bo Nix proponent. He has to hit that throw on the flea flicker. Yeah. You could say Marvin Mims should have laid out, but that's a throw that Bo Nix has to make.
Yep. Man, the hopes I had that Marvin Mims was going to be able to carry his second half of last season momentum into the new year have not been realized up to this point. He's been a bit of a disappointment. I mean, the entire offense has been a bit of a disappointment. Yes, there have been some bright spots. Cortland Sutton has now scored in 2 of the 3 games. Troy Franklin, Zach had a nice week 2, but boy, oh boy, this offense is just clunky. The blocking is utterly horrendous. And I'm not just talking the run blocking where the Chargers are completely dominating the point of attack, but Bo Nix has 0 time. He's already been sacked, which is rare. It's not easy to sack Bo Nix, and they've been getting after him.
Yep. Yeah, I want to give a shout out too to the Chargers, Chad. I said this coming off of the week 2 game. They look, and I hate to say it, and they still could Charger, a lot of season left to go, but they look legitimate right now. They're playing really good defense. Herbert is playing systematic quarterback right now, just dicing up the defense. But the offense, Bo Nix, when he doesn't set his feet, it's really ugly to watch. He has to make that throw. They have to be more efficient in the second half at the minimum.
And Bo Nix, man, I don't like using our former Justin Simmons moniker to describe Bo Nix. So I used to call Justin Simmons. He eventually turned this corner and stopped being this version of Justin Simmons, but Justin almost Simmons. So close today, Bo, on a 3rd down throw to Kroll. So close, tip pass, Troy Franklin, that missed flea flicker. That was a great call. It was a little clunky in terms of its quarterback and O-line execution, but Bo Nix has to hit that. Marvin Mims, no, not a perfect throw to you, bud. But if it hits you in the freaking fingers, my dog, you got to catch it. You got to freaking lay out and catch it. But one thing I'll say about Mims, he has been relatively marvelous as a returner up to this point. Nothing huge and game-breaking, although Eric Trickle did predict a Marvin Mims return, either kick or punt today. We'll see.
And he might get it because Mims sprung up off the side. He had a nice game. He sprung up up the middle. He had a nice game. It seems like he's this close away from breaking one, but also the special teams has looked clunky as well. All 3 phases have had their warts today, but the offense, I'm a little more encouraged after that Cortland Sutton touchdown. That was also another nicely called play. I want to see more of that, though, in the second half.
I would say, yeah, Mike, thank you for being a member, brother. The momentum feels like it may have swung in the Broncos' favor. He says, I like our odds. And I got to agree with Chad over here on Facebook, who says this is one undisciplined team.
Yep.
That first quarter was atrocious in terms of discipline. It was one flag after another. Look, Zach, you expect to see here and there with how physical Denver's corners are. You're going to get a defensive holding here and there. You're going to get a pass interference here and there. But man, it was one miscue after another. But I'll say this, the Broncos defense is the only reason this is still a game. Like the Chargers, for the most part, other than that one touchdown drive. And remember, the other guys get paid too. It's hard to pitch a complete shutout and be the Carolina Panthers like what they did today to the Falcons. I digress. Talanoa Hufanga, Zach, has been everything we hoped he'd be, whereas Ingram and Greenlaw have obviously been big disappointments. Not Hufanga. Riley Moss gets a tip pass that's picked off by Brandon Jones. Love seeing that. Nick Benito gets a sack. Cooper gets a sack. DJ Jones gets a sack, plus a huge TFL on the first play. I love the way this defense is playing so far. If this offense got the spark from that touchdown drive and the way this defense is playing, could be a much better second half.
You saw me nodding my head the whole time because that was perfectly 100% well said, Chad. I will add, though, if you watch Riley Moss on that PBU, he made a tremendous play. So for anyone who hates on him for getting beat, for as often as he gets beat, he comes back and makes just a once-in-a-lifetime looking type play. So you're right. Every star, like we didn't see that last week. We talked about where are the Broncos' talent? Where are the high-paid players? They haven't made the plays. So far today in the first half, they are making those plays.
String guy. And yeah, Patrick, great to see you, bud. Aloha, boys. Nick seems to need better placement on his throws. Yeah, he hasn't been that accurate so far this season, and that's continued today. String guy, Roger says, I think Denver's holding its own on the road against a really good Chargers team. We're 4 inches away from a 14-10 lead. Man, I would say we're like half an inch away. That miss to Mims, that's going to keep Bo Nix up at night.
As it should, yeah. Football really is string guy game of inches. They said it best on any given Sunday, and the Broncos need to do more, though. They can't leave it up to inches. They have to take the game back in their control, and I agree with what Mike Thompson said earlier a few seconds ago. Maybe the big momentum finally swung in Denver's favor.
Yeah, Derwin James is playing like a beast, dude. Is he the best player in the league right now? He's definitely playing like one of the best defensive players. That is for sure.
Whenever he's healthy, he looks like that. He's tremendous.
No doubt about it. David Youngkin, a member, says the problem is we went out and got a tight end, but Sean Payton can't figure out how to use him. Well, he's hurt. The problem is he's 2 games in, 2 injuries, a calf in week 1, a back in week 2. He's out today. Evan Ingram has been a complete swing and a miss so far. Same with Greenlaw, Zach, but the season is young.
Yeah, we haven't gotten a chance to talk about it yet. Greenlaw going on IR. I'm sure we'll get into that on the gut reaction. That was disappointing, and pretty much every major free agent pickup so far has been a disappointment, except for the player that Chad mentioned a few minutes ago. Hufanga is everywhere. He literally looks like Troy Polamalu out there. He's been a great addition to the defense.
By the way, learn something today. It's not Sternad, it's Sternad. It's Sternad. That's easy to remember for obvious reasons.
As Gene Williams, it's Sternad.
It's Sternad, yeah. Gene, brother, best to the brace girdles, says, I'm currently ripping my hair out over on Facebook. I hear you, buddy. It's been that kind of a game. Brutal. It's been brutal. The running backs, Sean Payton's tried to get them involved in various ways, but the execution just isn't there. Zach, the Chargers are out wanting it at the point of attack thus far, no doubt about it.
And that to me is totally unacceptable when the Broncos offense is coming off a performance like we saw in week 2, Chad, or, the inconsistencies as we saw in week 1. The team hasn't put it all together. They had a very heartbreaking defeat that you thought they would take personally. They'd be very pissed off for this game. They haven't come out and showed that. They've been more so passive, and the Chargers have been very aggressive. And like you said, wanting it more.
So here's the good news. Here's some silver linings. As mentioned earlier by, I think it was Mike, it feels like the Broncos got a little momentum back. And even if they didn't completely take control of momentum, they arrested the Chargers' momentum. That's for sure. But Zach, Cortland Sutton today has been targeted 6 times by Bo, right? He only had 1 catch for 6 yards last week. He's got 5 catches, 96 yards, and that 52-yard touchdown. So that's good to see. But other than that, the only other player to catch a pass so far today is RJ Harvey. 2 catches for 12 yards. They just, across the board, it's been clunky, disjointed, out of rhythm. the Chargers definitely, when it comes to Sean Payton's first 15 this week, had him sniffed out.
Yeah, they have their defensive coordinator, I think, is going to be a head coach by the time this season's over or soon after. They are really well coached. And if you've watched them the first couple of weeks, they fly around the football with Derwin James. And this is without Khalil Mack, by the way. So we have to give credit where the credit's due. The Chargers are a very good football team, and they're just making more plays right now, especially at the POA, point of attack, than the Broncos are.
And so far, J.K. Dobbins' revenge tour has not paid any dividends. Again, 4 carries, -4 yards. Defensively, though, I mean, the Broncos are hanging in there. They're doing well. 3 sacks on the day, as I mentioned earlier. Right now, there's 3 guys co-leading the team in tackles: Tillman, Singleton, Jones, each with 4. And then, of course, Jones has a pick. So real quick, through the half, the Broncos, Zach, have 102 pass yards. Well, let me go here. So the Chargers have 179 total yards. Broncos have just 113. And of course, a big chunk of that came on that second to last possession before the kneel down. On third down, the Broncos are 2 for 7. Chargers are 3 for 9. Neither doing too well on third down. And the Broncos have a 1 for 1 fourth down conversion. So really, let's focus on what needs to happen in the second half. Zach, what are you looking for? What are your keys for the Broncos to not only get the lead here, but win?
Well, let's cut down the penalties first and foremost, especially pre-snap penalties. Nothing's more frustrating. The offense needs to operate and function as Sean Payton hypes them up to be, and they need to get the running game going. We mention it every week, Chad, and I'll say this as a macro point of view here. Sean Payton talked the Broncos up as a Super Bowl contender, Bo Nix as a potential top 5 quarterback. Go out there and show it. Stop talking about it. Go out there and be about it. If Bo Nix is that guy, then in the second half, he'll put the team on his back. He won't commit turnovers, won't take sacks. The O-line needs to step up. Basically, the defense will not win them this game. It's only a matter of time before the Chargers get back on the board. The offense has to carry their own weight, or else they're going to go to 1-2 on the season.
What Dylan says here, man, is true. Quinn Miner's second-team All-Pro has been uncharacteristically bad. Not only has he not looked so hot to start this season, but he's just looked not good. It's like the accolade he went to his head. I don't know, but he needs to punch in. The Broncos paid him. That's a very well-paid offensive line, Zach, that's doing next to nothing so far today.
Yeah, and we can talk about they're installing these zone schemes and the new blocking schemes, but it's week 3 now. They need to perform at their expectation, and they're performing well under that, as Dylan said there. So everyone needs to step up. They're very highly paid. Start playing like it.
I agree, Greg. The offensive line has to want to run the ball. They're just not winning their matchups. They're not clearing lanes. They're not opening holes. They're just not getting any push. And then in the passing game, it's not just, Zach, that they're getting pressure. The Chargers have thrown a pretty wide variety of different blitz packages at Bo Nix, and he's seeing them, but the offense just isn't – the offensive line, I should say, is just not communicating well, seeing the free rush, or Bo Nix is trying to slide pressure on a pre-snap read where it looks like it's coming over here. Offensive line just not together. YouTube user, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. Thank you. Appreciate you both. Best of MHH, hands down. Well, thank you, my friend. Appreciate you. And the super chat means a lot to us.
Yeah, and tacking on to what you said, Chad, the Chargers seem like they're overloading one side of the O-line and setting extra pressure, and Bo Nix can scramble away all he wants from that initially, but he's not going to outrun some of those defenders. So they need to find a way to get the ball out of his hands quicker, not these slow developing plays. Maybe boot action is off the table for now, but the running game, first and foremost, has to get going. We say it every single week.
They certainly sucked him in on that fourth down touchdown, man, with the fake toss and then boom over the top. That was great design. That was the one kind of redemptive moment for Sean Payton. Even the flea flicker, hey, tip your cap to him for a little creativity there, but it kind of reeked of desperation in the moment. It worked in terms of, hey, the guy got open. Bo Nix had just enough time to uncork, but he ended up rushing it a little bit, and it fell incomplete. YouTube user, I don't know your name. The reason I popped you back on again is create a handle or something, or otherwise you're just YouTube user. It's harder to get to know you, big dog. Thanks again. Third quarter is about to start, Zach. The Broncos this time get the ball, which is good. Let's see if that momentum can be sustained. Mike says, Bidet missed that block bad. on the slide protection. He didn't even see the free rusher. Exactly. So it's not just the O-line, it's just the overall offense, man, needs to punch in. And we can only hope, Zach, that touchdown drive kind of snapped him out of whatever funk they were in.
Free Jaleel McLaughlin, please. The bidet experiment needs to end as RB3, man. At least give Jaleel a shot. Can't be any worse.
3 straight games to open the season. Jaleel McLaughlin, a healthy scratch. Sean Payton talks a lot about how hard it is to feed 4 different running backs. Well, you might want to try Dress in a 4th just so that you have an extra option on game day. Yeah, maybe you can't feed all 4, but you got to give Jaleel some looks. It's just, with the exception, Zach, of one play that I can think of off the top of my head through 2.5 games. And of course, that was last week on a nice 3rd and long screen. He picked up the yardage, showed some awesome speed. Tyler Bidet has been pretty much a dud.
It's really crazy to think about a player falling from grace like McLaughlin has. The most trusted running back on the field last season, and now he can't even get on the field. That's pretty brutal.
Kind of weird. I don't know, man, how that can be explained, if it has something to do with, I don't know. I don't even want to say what I was about to say. I don't know, but perhaps that'll change week 4. The Broncos get a long week off after this game. We'll see how it shakes out. Then they're home to host the Jake Browning-led Bengals, who are reeling after today.
Oof. Yeah, they're going to be extra motivated to clean up whatever they put on tape today after they burn the tape, of course. So it's not going to be easy. Game never is in the NFL, but the Broncos should be favored, and I expect them looking ahead to hopefully pull out the dub.
All right, guys, it's about to kick off again. Zach and I will see you here in 2 quarters time for the gut reaction. Broncos currently trail 10-7, but they get the ball to open the 3rd quarter. So we'll see how it shakes out, Zach.
We'll see how it goes. We'll see you guys for the gut reaction. Just a few minutes. Take care. And as always, go Broncos.